So now we have our topic 2, which is about the evolution of mobile wireless technology. So you have already heard about the generation. Today we have theoretically learn about these evolutions, these generations, and after that, after this topic, we will going to learn about their operations and design. Fine. So first of all, we have zero generation telecommunication. You can say wireless mobile technology. Now, in zero generation, you might have not heard zero generation. You have been hearing these 1G, 2G, 3G, and all, but you might not have heard the zero G. Actually, the zero G is mobile radio telephone. You can say mobile radio technology, which was the one before the first generation, right? The technology used before the generation is known as the 0G. Before that, it was just known as mobile radio telephone, right? Now, as 1G was introduced as the first generation of cellular telephones, you can say cellular technology was introduced. So the previous generation was known to be as zero generation. Fine. So what kind of technology it was, we will be learning over here. Ehtisham Ahmed and Fiza Khalid, please come on time next time. So, yes. So, what kind of phones were used during this 0G, that is zero generation? These phones or telephone, you can say, these were mounted to the vehicles, right? Somewhere near the driver, right, where driver seat. So these phones were actually vehicle mounted, right? And these have transceivers. What are transceiver? Transceiver is a device that can transmit and receive both. They can perform the both tasks. Okay, so it was something which was vehicle mounted, means that mobility was just limited till the vehicle. After that, you cannot not carry the phone outside the vehicle. Vehicle means your cars, or you can say any type of vehicle it can be. So who introduced this zero G, or who was the pioneer of zero G? They were Motorola and Bell system. Now we will see what the technologies were used in zero G. First of all, we have push to talk. Push to talk means, it is also known as press to transmit, which means that you have to press a certain kind of a button on that phone to send the data. That means you have to press the button, you have to speak up, and as you end up speaking, you have to release that button, and your data will be transmitted. This is why it is known as push to talk or press to transmit. Then we have mobile telephone system. Mobile telephone system is trying to indicate that it was half duplex system. What is half duplex? We have learned in our previous slides, in the modes of transmitting modes. IMTS is improved mobile telephone services, means it was connected to the public switch telephone network, which is used in your first it was used in your landline, and all the services were provided by your public switch telephone network. Then you have AMPS. AMPS is certain type of standard services that provided a standard frequencies of services for the zero G phones. Now we have come up to the first generation. Okay, first generation of telecommunication, we will just learn theoretically now. After that, in the next topic, we will learn their operation and designing. So now we have first generation telecommunication. First generation telecommunication, it was first launched commercially, means for the testing purpose. Okay, it was just used for the testing purpose, first of all, in 1979 in Tokyo. Okay, in Japan. And in just 5 years, the overall Japan was wirelessly connected, right? Uh, it was in Abdul Samad. So there's NMT, that is Nordic Mobile Telephone. In this have, spread this 1G in many countries, okay, in 1981. So first phone that was used in was Motorola Dynatec, which was used in Chicago, right? And this uses analog signals. Analog signals are the one that are continuous in nature, right? They are not discrete, right? And whenever it comes to analog, it means you are talking about the voice. You're not talking about the data, right? So uh, this is something about first generation. Now, what were the drawbacks? Poor voice quality, poor battery life, large phones. Okay. Now, so you see now, okay, it was a better thing than that of the zero G, of course, but for whatever technologies, whatever facilities that we have in this age are not these 1G technology, this 1G facility cannot be meet up with them, राइट। अभी जो हमारे पास जितनी भी टेक्नोलॉजीज हैं, जो भी हम यूज़ करते हैं, हमारे जो पास हम अगर फ़ोन यूज़ करते हैं तो आप देखें वहाँ पे जो वॉइस क्वालिटी है, उसकी जो बैटरी लाइफ है, ठीक है, फ़ोन साइज़ अगर आप देखें तो वो सब बहुत ही मीन्स आप कह सकते हैं एक बहुत ही एडवांटेजेस सी चीज़ है, राइट। सो of course it was a better thing than zero G, एक चीज जो that was just mounted to the vehicle which cannot be used other than that of the vehicle, right? So 1G तो उससे बेहतर चीज हो गई। लेकिन अगर आज के दौर में अगर हम देखें तो हमारे पास जो है कोई कुछ कह रहा है। इफ यू हैव एनी क्वेश्चन यू कैन आस्क, अदरवाइज प्लीज टर्न ऑफ योर माइक। सो the voice quality of 1G, its battery life they were poor because is comparatively from the 0G, they were better. But if we talk about the facilities that we have nowadays, they cannot meet up, right? The phone size were very large, okay. Security was not that which we have nowadays, okay. They were not reliable. High latency means there was a delay. Latency actually means delay. If you are sending something, you are transmitting something in a certain point in a certain time, it will not receive in the same time. So this is delay. This is called latency. Next, we have second generation. Second generation have some technologies like GSM, right? All the features of GSM are written in the following slide, right? It has obviously better than technology facilities than that of the 1G. uh, it was GSM, that is Global System for Mobile Communication. It was enhanced and it was named as GPRS, that is General Packet Radio Services. You can see the difference in all these, speed and all. You can see this ULNDL. This represent uplink and downlink. And just is example, like you upload something and you download something, how much frequency does they take, what are they speed. This uses digital modulation. Now what is modulation? Modulation is used just for your, you have signals, okay. Something is like your data signal, the signal which carry your data, and the other is carrier, right? The carrier is used to transmit the data signal, okay, so that it is not affected by the distance, right? So this is what modulation is. Next, we have GPRS. GPRS supports IP. Then IP is Internet Protocol. If you have learned about TCP, IP, and all these protocol, then you have also heard about the internet protocol. It is stick to the IP addresses, right? You might be familiar about the IP addresses since it is all about it supports internet protocol. So it provides the connectivity to internet, right? Then we have this hedge. It is more enhanced than this GPRS, and this was the generation where we could send SMS and MMS also. Um, what were the features that were improved that were not in the 1G, right? So it was like data transmission got fully digitized and encrypted, right? Internet data services and SMS, like already I have told you that SMS and MMS was introduced here, right? Drawback is that in that they require digital signal, means we have come to digital, so they need strong digital signals, right? Uh, since it was handling these complex video, right? Means they need more bandwidth and all. So there's a need of such things, more frequency, since it is giving so much of thing that than that of the 1G. So it can be a drawback, it can also be an advantage. Next, you have third generation, right? Third generation actually use WCDMA. Now, what is WCDMA? WCDMA is a multiple access technique. Okay, there are multiple access technique. We will learn about these multiple access technique in our separate topic. But just for a review, I will just let you know what is multiple access technique. Multiple access technique means if we have one channel, if we have one transmission medium, ठीक है, हमारे पास एक चैनल है, एक पाथ है, और वहाँ पे सब एक्सेस कर रहे होंगे, जितने भी डिवाइसेस उस नेटवर्क से कनेक्टेड है वो उसी चैनल को एक्सेस कर रहे होंगे, राइट? व्हेन दे आर एक्सेसिंग, सो सिंस दे आर एक्सेसिंग द सेम चैनल, एक ही चैनल को एक्सेस कर रहे हैं, so what is the possibility? There would be a possibility, there would be a probability कि उनके जो डेटा हैं, जो जितने भी डिवाइसेस वहाँ पे वायरलेसली कनेक्टेड हैं उस चैनल से, उनके डेटा कोलाइड हो सकते हैं, राइट? डेटा भी कोलाइड हो सकते हैं। और दूसरी बात ये है कि हमें जो है अपना जो मल्टीपल एक्सेस टेक्निक है, मीन्स जितने भी डिवाइसेस एक्सेस कर रहे हैं उनको बेस्ट पॉसिबल मैनर में वो एक्सेस कर पाएँ, मीन्स उनका डेटा कोलाइड ना हो, राइट? सो इसके लिए कुछ मल्टीपल एक्सेस टेक्निक बनाए गए हैं, जैसे कि टाइम डिवीजन मल्टीपल एक्सेस, कोड डिवीजन मल्टीपल एक्सेस, फ्रीक्वेंसी डिवीजन मल्टीपल एक्सेस। हियर वी हैव कोड डिवीजन मल्टीपल एक्सेस, मीन्स आपका जो चैनल है वो कोड के कोड कोड को कंसिडर करते हुए उनको जो है डिस्ट्रीब्यूट किया गया है उस चैनल को। कोड, यहाँ पे CDMA की बात हो रही है, वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट कोड डिवीजन मल्टीपल एक्सेस। सो डिफरेंट डिवाइसेस that are sending their data, they would have different codes, उनके अलग कोड्स होंगे, तो उन कोड्स की वजह से there will be no collision. Since here it is wide band, WCDMA means wide band code division multiple access. So wide band means कि इसकी जो डेटा जो आप यूज करें वो ज्यादा प्रोवाइड आपको करेगा, राइट? सो 3G, yes, who is this? You have any question? If you don't have any question, you can just a minute. Sorry, my mic was off. So we were talking about 3G, right? We have understood what is WCDMA, multiple access technique. I have made you understood what it is. Student, you are very late to come. बार बार मुझे जो है इंटरप्ट करके स्टूडेंट्स को यहाँ एडमिट करना पड़ रहा है. So in 3G you have faster communication, and since you are using WCDMA, I've told you, you have faster communication than that of the other previous generations. Okay, you can send more data at a time, high speed and more security. All these, video conferencing and gaming, this is all done through possible through the 3G. Now you have now you have these drawbacks. It is saying that these license of 3G are expensive. Since you are getting so much of facilities you have that have been improved than that of the previous generations, so that means you will pay a fee for it, which is more expensive than that of the previous one. You Then it is saying that infrastructure is very challenging. Yes, again, if you are having so much of facilities, so the infrastructure of course will be very challenging to handle. Okay, it require more bandwidth. If it is giving you bandwidth extensive facilities, just like video conferencing and gaming and all that, TV streaming, so it means it need more bandwidth, right? Because these all are uh, you know bandwidth intensive, you can say, the facilities. Okay, of course the phones that you buy that give you 3G technology, they are also that support 3G technology, they are also expensive. Now we have 4G, right? So here in 4G you can see it gives 100 Mbps for moving, and 1 Gbps for stationary or walking, right? Students, why are you so late to come? I will not admit now any of the students. It's very interrupting. 4G, the technologies proposed in 4G are LTE, that is long term evolution, and WiMAX. In these technology, you can see there are they are giving more speed than that of the previous generation. Okay, they have more use of battery, hard to implement. Of course they are hard to implement. If you are again, I would say that if you are having the technologies, they are getting better and better day by day. They are facilitating you to, so it would be the hardware that are being used, that will be very expensive and very complicated to handle, right? So here this is all about the 4G generation and its technology. After that I would let you know about the 5G and the design and operation of the already studied generations in the next topic. Okay, up till now, if you have any question, you can ask me so that we can move to some other topic. So that would Here you can see in this second generation, it is saying that it uses packet switch technology. Before, circuit switch technology was just used. Here, packet switch technology is being used. Now, what is packet switch technology and what is circuit switch technology? I will let you know in another presentation, your PowerPoint slide. I have to. Can you see the slides, students?
Yes, ma'am.
So, I would like to make you understand this switching technique, uh, which you have seen in second generation about the packet switching. So these are the switching technique. What have how to make you understand is that uh, when there's a network, right? So what does a network mean? Network means there are devices connected to one another. Okay, in order to exchange your data within that network. So when there are devices connected to a network, बहुत सारे डिवाइसेस हैं एक नेटवर्क में कनेक्टेड है, राइट? सो जब उन्हें पॉइंट टू पॉइंट कनेक्शन चाहिए, तो अगर आपने पढ़े होंगे कुछ टोपोलॉजीज होते हैं जैसे कि स्टार होता है, आपका मैश टोपोलॉजी होता है, ठीक है? ये टोपोलॉजीज क्या है? ये टोपोलॉजीज जो हैं ये नेटवर्क की डिज़ाइनिंग है कि नेटवर्क कैसे हम ले डाउन करेंगे, how the network would be laid down, will be the design of the network. So through these designing of the network, there would be point to point connection between the devices. Now कोई भी दो devices एक दूसरे से communicate कर सकते हैं without the hindrance of the other device, ठीक है? So but it would not be practical, इतना वो practical नहीं होगा, ये impractical होगा जब हमारे devices बढ़ जाएंगे उस network में, when the devices are increased, ठीक है? तो ऐसे में जो है ये इम्प्रैक्टिकल सी बात है, आप कितने सारे जो है ये टोपोलॉजी सब प्ले डाउन करेंगे? सो इसके लिए हमारे पास स्विचिंग टेक्निक्स है, ठीक है? जैसे कि हमारे पास है ये सर्किट स्विचिंग, मैसेज स्विचिंग एंड पैकेट स्विचिंग. सो सर्किट स्विचिंग में क्या होता है? सर्किट स्विचिंग में ये है कि within a network जो भी device connected है, right, if they need to communicate with one another, तो उनके दरमियान एक पाथ डेडिकेट की जाती है, राइट? उनके दरमियान एक रास्ता डेडिकेट किया जाता है. a path is reserved for them. Okay, that means that path will not be used by any of the other devices. It will just be used by the two devices which need to communicate with one another, right? Other devices cannot participate with that path will only be reserved for that sender and its receiver, right? So this is all about the circuit switching. Now what happens is in पैकेट स्विचिंग में आपका जो पाथ है वो डेडिकेट नहीं होता. It is not reserved between the sender and a receiver, right? It is shared. Okay, the overall path, जितने भी path हैं within the network, जितने भी रास्ते हैं data communicate करने के from one device to another, they are shared. They are not reserved for any two devices, right? Now how they are shared? They are shared like that कि जो भी data sent हो रहा है, then the data that is needed to be transmitted, it is divided in packets. जो आपका डेटा है उसको पैकेट्स में डिवाइड करके उसको डिफरेंट पाथ से ट्रांसमिट किया जाता है थ्रू द पैकेट स्विचिंग टेक्निक. So the difference in circuit switching and packet switching is okay, in circuit switching we have dedicated path and in packet switching we have shared path, right? So this is the difference. Now in circuit switching जो भी आपके जो voice कॉल है, वॉइस जितना भी डेटा है वो सर्किट स्विचिंग टेक्निक यूज़ उसके लिए सर्किट स्विचिंग टेक्निक यूज़ होता है, और जितना भी आपका डेटा पार्ट है उसके लिए आपका पैकेट स्विचिंग टेक्निक यूज़ होता है, राइट। सो देयरफॉर आपने देखा कि जो आपकी जो टेक्नोलॉजी है उसमें आपने देखा पैकेट स्विचिंग यूज़ हो रहा था, राइट। सो जब तक वॉइस था तो सिर्फ सर्किट स्विचिंग यूज़ हो रहा था, लेकिन जब उसमें डेटा आ गया तो पैकेट स्विचिंग इंक्लूड हो गया, सही। सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट द सर्किट स्विचिंग एंड पैकेट स्विचिंग. Here you can see this diagram. Okay, it's about the circuit switching. If node A, or you can say the device A, needs to communicate with the device B, it requests with these are the switches. ये जो है ये नेटवर्क में switches है, right? And these switches helps the device help out them these A and B to connect. Okay, they establish a link between. This is all channel. Okay, ये जो है आपके लिंक्स हैं और इनको आपने डिफरेंट चैनल्स में डिवाइड कर दिया है. अब जब ए को बी से बात करना है तो switch 1 will make up a link to switch 2. Okay, the device is not over here, then it will make a link to switch 3. Okay, the device is node B to which A needs to communicate is over here. So ये switch 3 जो है इनको लिंक करवाता है, और node B जैसे ही एक्नॉलेज करता है तो इन दोनों के दरमियान एक पाथ डेडिकेट की जाती है, इन दोनों को एक पाथ रिजर्व किया जाता है, और ये पाथ कोई भी और डिवाइस इन दोनों के अलावा को यूज़ नहीं कर सकते. और जब तक ये अपना रिलीज नहीं कर देता नोड बी, ठीक है, सिग्नल रिलीज नहीं कर देता, ये जो स्विचेस हैं इस पाथ को ख़त्म नहीं करेंगे. इट विल बी कंटिन्यूड. ओके, so this is how circuit switching works. First of all, it was used in your public switch telephone network. अगर आपके घर में जो लैंडलाइन पहले थे और शायद अभी भी हैं या नहीं, तो ये जो पब्लिक स्विच टेलीफोन नेटवर्क है वो एक्चुअली सर्किट स्विचिंग यूज़ करता था, राइट. एंड देन आफ्टर इट वाज यूज्ड इन योर सेल्युलर टेक्नोलॉजीज में भी यूज़ होने लगा. ओके, सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट द स्विचिंग टेक्निक. इसमें कुछ फेजेस हैं जैसे कि कनेक्शन सेटअप फेज, डेटा ट्रांसफर फेज, कनेक्शन टियर डाउन फेज. ये सारे फेजेस हैं आपके सर्किट स्विचिंग के. डेट कनेक्शन सेटअप फेज में यही है कि कनेक्शन पूरा जो आपका सेटअप हो रहा है, एक डेडिकेटेड पाथ इज बीइंग एस्टैब्लिश्ड बिटवीन द सेंडर एंड रिसीवर through these switches, right? This is all connection setup phase. Then when the data is transformed from node A to B, that is data transfer phase. And when the data transfer is ended up, they do not need to send any data now. When they release that circuit, so it is called the connection tear down phase, right? So it have some advantages and some disadvantages also, right? So since your circuit in circuit switching it is fixed, it is dedicated, तो आपके पास एक फिक्स्ड बैंडविड्थ है, वो कोई और यूज़ नहीं कर रहा, दैट इज़ जस्ट फॉर यू. अब इसमें इसका डिसएडवांटेज भी यही आ जाता है कि इफ़ इट इज़ जस्ट यूज बाय द सेंडर रिसीवर, और ये डेडिकेट किया गया है और वो सिग्नल को रिलीज़ ही नहीं करते, राइट, सिग्नल को रिलीज़ ही नहीं करते और दे आर नॉट ट्रांसफरिंग डेटा, तो वो क्या हो रहा है, वो ज़ाया हो रहा है. आपका जो पाथ है दैट इज़ बीइंग वेस्टेड, राइट. सो उस वक्त तक वो चैनल जो है वो रिलीज नहीं होगा जब तक कि वो नहीं करेंगे, ऑल्दो दे आर नॉट यूजिंग इट, राइट. सो दिस इज एन डिसएडवांटेज. Message switching is something between packet switching and circuit switching, राइट. ये पैकेट स्विचिंग और सर्किट स्विचिंग के दरमियान की चीज़ है, विच वॉज एक्चुअली जो पैकेट स्विचिंग है वो मैसेज स्विचिंग से इन्फ्लुएंस होके बना है. इट इज जिसमें ये टेक्निक है स्टोर एंड फॉरवर्ड का, कि जो भी आपके पैकेट्स आ रहे हैं, मैंने ऑलरेडी आपको बताया था पैकेट स्विचिंग के बारे में, कि जो भी आपके पैकेट्स हैं ये स्टोर और फॉरवर्ड हो रहे हैं बिटवीन द राउटर्स एंड द स्विचेस. सो यहाँ आप देख रहे हैं पैकेट स्विचिंग में आपके बहुत सारे रास्ते हैं ओवरऑल नेटवर्क में, राइट? You have many ways within this, or between the A and B. Okay, so जो आपका डेटा है वो पैकेट में डिस्ट्रीब्यूट हुआ और डिफरेंट स्विचेस से वो जाके यहाँ कंबाइन हुआ. They have sequence number, they have addresses, they will reach to their destination. This is all about the packet switching um, approach. Now, I want to make you understand this slide, but it would only be possible in your physical classes, right? So, when we will have our physical classes, I will continue this switching technique lecture, and I will let you and make you understand it through your classroom board, so it will be more easier for me to make you understand. It would be more easier for you to understand it also, right? So if you have any question, you can ask me about this switching technique. अच्छा, आपको चीजें समझ आ रही हैं क्या नहीं, आप मुझे ये बता दें. Is everybody present?
Yes, miss.
Who is this? नाम बताएंगे आप अपना?
जी मिस काशिफ.
ओके, तो सिर्फ काशिफ को समझ आ रही है, बाकी सारे कहाँ हैं स्टूडेंट्स?
जी मिस समझ आ रहा है.